I can feel it. I'm serious. Good. How you doing?
Same starters today?
Yes.
Do you?
Why you want to change the starters?
I'm just asking.
Yeah, same starters. Until Kawhi gets back.
So you have an update on that, is what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying. So it could be 2 years from now, whatever. When Kawhi gets back, they'll change. All right.
How did Serge obviously came out of that game? He said it was a rough game for him. When watching the film, like what did you make of his minutes? I know it was brief in stints, but what does
he expect? Like he hasn't played in 7 months, so that's just the perfectionist he is. Like when he's on the floor, he wants to make sure he's contributing, and the game just looked a little fast for him because he hasn't played in a while, and so that was to be expected. But just having him on the floor, and like I said, had a big block, and just be able to anchor that defense and talk and communicate on the defensive end, it's going to be huge for us, and we know that.
Is it tough to experiment with like him and Isaiah and Zoo while trying to win games at the same time?
Like I said, Serge, you can only play a certain amount of minutes. Zoo's been playing at a high level the last few games, so we're just gonna give them all three a spin again, and whichever two are playing the best between Serge and Isaiah in the second half will get the nod. So we'll see.
Hey, Ty, good to see you. With how great Paul has been playing recently, do you think this is the best stretch you've seen him compared to other stretches? How do you look at that?
He had a great stretch last year in the playoffs, which was huge for us. But we know, like I said, he can score the basketball with the best of them, but being one of the best two-way players, in the game, I just think his defensive mindset and the way he's guarding, defending, taking charges, diving for loose balls, like that's really set the tone for us this year defensively.
Hey, Ty, going back to the Stars for a moment, they played really well against this Portland Trailblazers team, and for the most part over the last week, there's been a lot of turnovers to start games, obviously the early holes. So how do you kind of duplicate what they've done previously to get a better performance?
Just come out with a defensive mindset, I think, to start the game. Our second, third, and fourth quarters have been great, but our first quarters haven't been that great as of late. So we got to have a defensive mindset to start the game. I think having a physicality at all five positions defensively and lock into that, and we'll be fine.
How does that translate to also getting that unit to perform well offensively, especially like taking care of the ball?
Yeah, just take care of the ball, like not making careless turnovers. You got to make some turnovers because you're being aggressive trying to make a play, but just the careless turnovers, we got to make sure we try to take away and limit.
When Reggie's shooting a three so well, what does that do for the rest of the offense?
Because PG's getting downhill, getting into the paint, I think Reggie was number one in the league, I think, out of point guards and catch and shoot threes. So we know he can shoot the basketball. Early on he was frustrated because he was missing some open shots, but now he's kind of found his rhythm. But when he's shooting the ball at a high clip, it really opens the game up for us.
Where have you seen the biggest growth for the team during this winning streak?
I think offensively, making some shots. I think understanding where we're trying to go with the basketball. I think getting familiar of, first, second, third option. We're getting better. I still got a long ways to go, but, we're getting better at it. So we got to continue to keep building off of that.
And you mentioned transition offense the other night. In terms of getting out in transition, you get out in transition more than any other team, but not converting at a rate you would like. Do you attribute that kind of to a camaraderie issue on the floor where guys are still trying to learn each other, that's kind of leading to that?
No, I think it's got to make better decisions. Having 3-on-1s, 2-on-1s, we got to do a better job of converting those. If you're in junior high or the NBA, you've been taught how to, convert those actions. So we just got to do a better job of just making the right play, and we haven't done that so far this year, not as good as we need to. So we got to keep working on that aspect of our game.
Hey, Ty, I'm a little late, so sorry if I'm asking again, but I know you guys, obviously you're focused on your team, but wanted to see if you caught the Jokic Markieff Morris dust up yesterday, and if you caught any of the subsequent conversation on Twitter between Marcus Morris and Jokic brothers.
Well, I don't have social media, but I did see the play, and I'm pretty sure Mark's going to try to protect his brother as well. So, but I don't get into it. That's their thing.
Luke and Terrence, had time to develop last year a bond between themselves. But how have you seen them what have you seen them do this year? Sort of showing you that they've taken the next level as a duo on the court.
I think Luke, as in regards to Luke, I think just getting more comfortable. I think understanding his role. what we need him to do on the floor, offensively. But the biggest thing is defensively, he's been really good. I think competing on both ends. I mean, competing on the defensive end, but also being in the right spots as far as our team defense and understanding what we want. So he's been good on that side of the basketball as well. But like I said, taking his open shots, moving without the basketball, create confusion for the other teams. And it's been good for us. And with Terrence, I think, last year he took a big step. I think that game 6 against Utah, really, gave him a lot of confidence. And coming into this year, like I said, he's probably one of the most improved guys this year.
What have you made of Luke sort of just firing away? He hasn't looked very passive. Are you happy with? Can you see more of that?
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. The way he shoots the basketball, at a high clip. When he's open or even when he got a little daylight, he has to be willing to take those shots. And that's what he's been doing. And that's how we've been able to get back in the games in the fourth quarters. And in the second half, he's been really good.
Two-parter, because I know one's going to be quick. Back to Serge. Minutes restriction, idea and what you want to see or what you're looking for if you're going to pull him out?
Yeah, he definitely has a minute restriction, but we don't want to play him in long spurts, 4 or 5 minutes, spurts, just to make sure that, like I said, he gets his condition, make sure he doesn't injure anything else, and make sure he's just not, wearing himself out or get his back, get tired from playing too many minutes consecutively.
The 30 turnover game against Portland, end of October. What stood out to you about what the defense was doing so well in that game?
I thought we were just very active. I thought our hands got a lot of hands on a lot of basketballs. Defensively blitzed Dame a lot to, try to create some turnovers. But I thought we were really active. 1 through 5, guys were active. Guys were flying around. And I think we had 21 deflections and 30 steals. So that's pretty good.
Just a couple of seconds longer.
That's all right.
Thank you. Marcus, is there any more progression on what he's able to do?
He's been on the court working, been in the weight room, conditioning and things like that. Hasn't played in 5-on-5 the last couple of days, but he played prior to. So, we'll see.
And then just to go to the very first question about starters, you mentioned it's not changing if Kawhi's back.
I'm just talking stuff.
Totally. I wasn't sure just how much to read into when Marcus does come back. Do you like the way Batum fits with these starters?
We got to see when he gets back and then we'll make that decision. Yes, sir.
Recording stop.